Okay, here is a beautiful 2-5-1 lick that he plays over blue bossa. This is in the key of D flat major, so the chords are E flat minor 7, A flat 7, D flat major 7. And there's a couple of really interesting things going on in this one. We start out with a little bit of a backwards sweep picking pattern. So we're going to start out in the 6th position in this, home key of the E flat minor 7 chord. And we start on the and of 4 with an F note, and then on beat 1 we hit G flat, so we're starting on the flatted 3rd, and we're hitting the 2nd on the and of 4. Then from here we have this little minor 9th arpeggio that's back sweeped. So we're going to start up here on the F note, and it's out of this shape, so think of G flat, B flat, D flat, F. That's a E flat minor 9 arpeggio. Also looks the same as a G flat major 7 chord. And we start on the 9 on this high F note, and we sweep backwards. So that takes a little bit of getting used to, so I would suggest just going nice and slow. Just take the chord shape, and the main thing that you want to avoid when you're doing this is you don't want it to sound like this. You don't want the notes ringing together. You want that separation, so go nice and slow, making sure we're getting a nice lift from one note to the next. And then with the sweep, you want to avoid lifting the pick. You want it to just fall upwards into each string, right? So we have... That's probably the hardest part of the lick. Then from that point on, we play an E flat note, so that's the root note. Then we pick the F, hammer onto G flat, and then we pick an A flat note. So that's just the first 4 notes of E flat Dorian. So the root, the 2nd, the flatted 3rd, and then the 4th. So up to there we have. So that's everything over the E flat minor chord. All right, now right here we got some really great altered vocab happening over the A flat dominant 7th chord. So we're going to start with our pointer finger on the A note. That's our flatted 9th. Then we do this little slur and a slide. So we pick A, and then we hammer on to B with our ring finger and then pull back off. So we said the A is the flat 9, the B note is the sharp 9, then we pull back off to the flat 9, then we slide down a fret to A flat, which is our root note. Okay. Then our ring finger plays G flat, this is the flatted 7th. Then pointer finger picks E, this is the sharp 5. So we have 3 altered tones. We have the flat 9, the sharp 9, and the sharp 5. And then C, which is our 3rd. Then right here, we do this. We do our ring finger on A, pointer finger on G, and then middle finger lands on A flat. When we hit that A flat note, that is beat 1 of the D flat major 7th chord. So once we get to that note, we're landing on the 5th of the D flat major 7th chord. So the 2 notes before it, the A and the G, I would just think of that as a chromatic approach to that 5th of the D flat major chord. I would say this is 1 above and 1 below. So we start out with the altered stuff, and then just 1 above, 1 below the 5th of the next chord that we're going to. So a lot of these lines, when you get towards the end of them, you notice that he's starting to think ahead to what the next chord is, and a lot of time that dictates what note selection he's making to get to the next chord of the progression. So up to there so far we have this. And actually I think I was playing my middle finger before. When I get to that A flat note, I actually move my pointer finger up from G to A flat, because once we get to the D flat major chord, he does this really pretty sort of intervallic sounding idea. So we start with our pointer finger on A flat, which is the 5th, like we said. Then your ring finger goes up to E flat, which is the 9th. So we're jumping up a 5th, which is cool. And then we go down to D flat, which is our root note with the pointer finger. Then our ring finger is going to jump all the way up to here, the 11th fret of the B string, which is B flat. And then you pick A flat with your pointer finger. So that's the 6th and the 5th. So far this D flat major part goes. That's really pretty. So 5th, 2nd, root, 6th, 5. Then right here, I love this sound. He goes. So we have a really cool note that we're landing on there. So we pick E flat with our ring finger and then pull off to D flat. So that's just the 2 to the 1 again, or the 9th if you prefer to call it 9 instead of 2. And then right here, I love this note. He picks A note with his middle finger, A natural. If we look at that in relation to D flat major, that's actually the sharp 5. So there's a variety of different ways that you can use the sharp 5 over a major chord. A lot of times people just use it to go chromatically from the 5th up to the 6th, either ascending or descending. But in this instance, he's using it on its own. He's not doing it in the context of chromaticism. So because of that, it kind of creates more of a modern sort of sound, which I think is really cool. And then we land on C note with our pointer finger. That's the major 7th of the D flat major chord. And then we have a little pull off and a 2-string sweep. So after we pick that C note, our ring finger plays B flat again, and we pull off to A flat with our pointer finger. And then 2 little up sweeps on F and D flat, which is the 3rd and the root. So up to there we have. And then middle finger plays C, pointer finger plays B flat, and then we land on A flat with our pinky. So those last 3 notes would be the 7, the 6, and the 5. So just going right down the scale, starting on the major 7th. And the entire lick would be this. Okay, so to quickly review everything in this lick, over the E flat minor 7 chord, he's doing an E flat minor 9 arpeggio back sweeping from the 9th to the flatted 3rd. Then he just goes up the first 4 notes of E flat Dorian, the 1, 2, flat 3, 4. Then over our A flat dominant 7th chord, he does a slur using a couple of altered tones, the flat 9 and the sharp 9, down to the root. Then he hits the flatted 7th, then the sharp 5, which is the other altered tone, then the 3rd. Then we have a little chromatic approach to the 5th of the D flat major 7th chord, doing 1 above, 1 below. Then when we land on D flat major, we start on the 5th. We play this intervallic line, doing the 5th, the 2nd, the root, the 6th, the 5th. Pull off from the 9 to the root, and then he uses that sharp 5 temporarily to create a little bit of tension within the major chord. Then we have the major 7th, 6th, 5th, 3rd and root going down to, D flat major 7 arpeggio, and then the 7th, the 6th, and the 5th. All right, so that is lick number 3. Now on to lick number 4.